Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about antimicrobial chemotherapy. So what is antimicrobial chemotherapy? So I have given a definition here. It is the clinical application of antimicrobial agents to treat infectious disease like influenza, cholera and tuberculosis. So chemotherapy it is used to cure an infectious diseases by fighting against the pathogens using drugs with selective toxicity. So, it is the clinical application of antimicrobial agents to treat infectious diseases like influenza, cholera, and tuberculosis, but with selective toxicity. So, what is selective toxicity? So, so the drug which we are going to use, it should target only the specific pathogen or organism without injuring other cells or organisms that are in contact with that. So antimicrobial chemotherapy, it is the clinical application of antimicrobial agents to treat infectious diseases. It is by using it is used to cure infectious diseases by fighting against the causative pathogens and with selective toxicity. So selective toxicity is nothing but it should be able to target the particular organism without injuring the host. This is the definition for antimicrobial chemotherapy. So antimicrobial agents may be extracted from natural substances or can be produced synthetically, that is by in the lab. So drugs are given in particular doses according to type and the severity of infections. As I said, it should be based on the concept of selective toxicity, that is ability of drug to injure a target cell or organism without injuring other cells or organism that are in intimate contact. So chemotherapy it refers to the treatment of certain diseases. So chemotherapy, so antimicrobial chemotherapy is nothing but using the drugs uh, produced by the organism itself against the organism and against other infectious organisms. So that is antimicrobial chemotherapy. So if you talk about only chemotherapy, it is the treatment of certain diseases using specific chemicals that are destructive to the cells or to the causative agent of a disease. That is chemotherapy. So antimicrobial chemotherapy, it what it does is it might kill or inhibit the growth of organisms like bacteria, fungi, or pathogens, protozoans. So it might kill or inhibit the growth of microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, or protozoans. So this therapy it might kill microorganism or it will inhibit the growth of organisms. So if the antimicrobial chemotherapy, if it kills the organism, it is called as microbiocidal. So cidal means it kills the organisms. If it inhibits the growth of organism, that is it is called as microbiostatic. Static means it will inhibit the growth of organisms. So this is the definition for antimicrobial chemotherapy, and this is what is antimicrobial chemotherapy introduction. So what it is the clinical application of antimicrobial agents to treat infectious diseases, example influenza, cholera and tuberculosis. It is extracted naturally or can be produced in the lab, and it should be given in particular doses according to the type and the severity of infections, and it should be based on the concept of selective toxicity, that is the ability of drug to injure a target cell or organism without injuring other cells or organisms that are in intimate contact. So this is the definition for antimicrobial chemotherapy, and it is the nothing but chemotherapy is nothing but the treatment of diseases using specific chemicals that are destructive to the cells, malignant cells, or to the causative agent of a disease such as bacteria or a virus, and it is used to cure an infectious diseases using drugs with selective toxicity. And selective toxicity is nothing but these drugs, um, these drugs does not should have a significant damage to the pathogens. It should have a significant damage to the pathogens with minimal or no harmful effects to the host. That is selective toxicity. So there are four types of antimicrobial chemotherapy. That is antibacterial chemotherapy, that is the use of antibacterial drugs to treat bacterial infections. And antifungal chemotherapy, the use of antifungal drugs to treat fungal infections. So antiprotozoal chemotherapy, the use of antiprotozoal drugs to treat protozoan infections. Antiviral, the use of antiviral drugs to treat viral infections. As the name suggests, it says antibacterial. Anti means against bacteria. So the compound extracted from the bacteria, it is used against the bacteria, other species of bacteria. So antibacterial chemotherapy, antifungal chemotherapy, antiprotozoal and antiviral chemotherapy. So history, how the antibiotics was introduced. So chemicals produced by certain organisms can kill other organisms. So Ehrlich, what he discovered was salvarsan against syphilis. It led to the formation of antibiotics. So and Fleming, he discovered penicillin in 1928. It is the breakthrough in the history of medicine. So penicillin, what happened is, um, Staphylococcus aureus, like Staphylococcus aureus is a bacteria. Penicillium, it is a penicillium is a fungi. It is a mold. So accidentally Staphylococcus aureus, he was growing Staphylococcus aureus in a media. Accidentally there was a fungal infection in the media. So where he can see the Staphylococcus aureus was growth was inhibited by the penicillin. So by this way, he found out that there is something present in the mold can inhibit the growth of other bacteria. So it led to the discovery of antibiotics. So this is the history of antimicrobial chemotherapy. So after sulfur drug success, the more search for drugs happened. So penicillin was discovered in 1929, and like major search for antibiotics. So he found three major groups of organisms like Penicillium, Cephalosporium, and Bacillus. So from Penicillium he extracted penicillin. From Cephalosporium, cephalosporin was extracted, and from Bacillus, bacitracin, and from actinomycetes like streptomyces. So he found out streptomycin. The majority of antibiotics come from these organisms like streptomycetes. It is the actinomycetes. So now it has been classified based on the mode of action. There are different mode of action which can kill the bacteria. So it will damage the cell wall of the bacteria or inhibit the cell wall synthesis. It will damage the cell membrane. The permeability of the cell membrane will be altered, and physical or chemical state of proteins and nucleic acids will be altered, like coagulation and oxidation can happen, and it might inhibit the enzyme action like metabolic arrest and oxidation. It might inhibit the protein or nucleic acid synthesis. So this is the different modes of action which it will kill the organisms. So what it will does is it will damage the cell wall, inhibit the cell wall, and the cell membrane will be damaged. Permeability of the cell membrane will be altered. Chemical and physical state of the proteins and nucleic acids will be altered. Enzyme action will be inhibited. It will inhibit the protein and nucleic acid synthesis. So this is the different ways it is classified. Of antimicrobial drug work in a variety of ways, like inhibition of cell wall synthesis. Example, penicillin and vancomycin, bacitracin. It will inhibit the cell wall synthesis. Protein synthesis is inhibited by aminoglycosides, tetracyclines, chloramphenicol, and macrolides. cell membrane is altered by polymyxin B and bacitracin. Inhibition of nucleic acid synthesis is done by DNA, quinolones and metronidazole. RNA, rifampicin and bacitracin. Inhibition of metabolic pathways like antimetabolites, sulfonamides. So this is the classification by the mode of action of the drug. So again, the classification of antibiotics is classified based on the mode of action. So as I said earlier, cidal and static. So bacteriostatic is nothing but it will inhibit the effect and it will inhibit the growth of organism. Bactericidal, it is killing, it will kill the growth of organisms. So cidal means killing effect and static is inhibitory effect on the range of microbes. So based on the spectrum of action, it is again divided into broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. So broad spectrum is nothing but it will kill or inhibit both the gram positive and gram negative organisms. So it is broad spectrum. And if it kills only, if it works against only gram negative or gram positive, it is a narrow spectrum antibiotic. So the range of bacteria or other organism that is affected by certain antibiotic is expressed as its spectrum of action. So antibiotics effective against prokaryotes which kill or inhibit a wide range of gram negative and gram positive bacteria are said to be broad spectrum. So it is effective mainly against gram negative or gram positive bacteria. So it is called as narrow spectrum antibiotic. So classify clinically useful antibiotics should have many of these characteristics as possible. So this is the characteristics of the antibiotics. There are 7 points for the characteristics of antibiotic, how the antibiotic should be. So our first point, it should have a wide spectrum of activity with the ability to destroy or inhibit many different species of pathogenic organisms. So it should have a wide spectrum of activity with the ability to destroy or inhibit many different species of pathogenic organisms. Not only one, it should have a wide spectrum of activity to destroy many different species of pathogenic organism, not only one. So it should be non-toxic to the host. So as I said earlier, selective toxicity. So it should be non-toxic to the host and without undesirable side effects. It should be non-allergenic to the host. It should be non-allergenic to the host. The host should not have any allergy towards the drug, and it should not eliminate the normal flora of the host. So you will have a beneficial organisms inside the body, so it should not harm those normal flora of the host which is beneficial to you. It should be able to reach the part of the human body where the infection is occurring. So it should it should reach the target site. So it should be able to reach the part of the human body where the infection is occurring, and it should be inexpensive and easy to produce, and it should be chemically stable, and it should have a long shelf life. So this is the characteristics of antibiotics, that is it should have a wide spectrum of activity with the ability to destroy or inhibit many different species of pathogenic organisms. It should be non-toxic to the host and without undesirable side effects. It should be non-allergenic to the host. It should not eliminate the normal flora of the host. It should be able to reach the part of the human body where the infection is occurring. It should be inexpensive and easy to produce. It should be chemically stable. It should have a long shelf life. So this is the table column, very important classes of antibiotics with their properties. So you should be able to write this table column, very important. So which bacteria, which antibiotic is effective against which organism. So you have chemical class, examples, biological source, spectrum, effective against, and the mode of action. Very important table column, and it is a very important question for your exam, antimicrobial chemotherapy. Now we will talk about antimicrobial assessment of bacterial sensitivity, that is antibiotic sensitivity test. There is a test called antibiotic sensitivity test. So using that test we can identify which antibiotic is effective against which organisms. So there is two methods, that is disk diffusion test and minimum inhibitory concentration assay. So this diffusion test, that is antibiotic sensitivity test, is also called as antibiotic sensitivity test. It is done in a Petri plate with the agar. First you need to inoculate the bacteria which you are going to test against the antibiotic. Inoculate the bacteria in the Petri plate. Spread, like you have to spread the bacteria on the on the agar. Then add the disc, like small paper disc will be there, like with the dose of antibiotic. So it's like small paper, like round shaped paper. So it will have a antibiotic in it. So what you need to do is you need to just keep the antibiotics like penicillin, cephalosporin, all the antibiotics you can keep. Amoxicillin, you can keep the antibiotic, like 4 antibiotic or 2 antibiotics you can keep on the agar plate. Then you have to incubate it. So antibiotic will diffuse into the medium as the cells grow. So if the bacteria is sensitive against the antibiotic, it will inhibit the growth of organism. If it is resistant, there will not be any growth. So there will be a growth, there will not be any inhibition. So if it is sensitive, if the antibiotic is sensitive against the bacteria, if the bacteria is sensitive, if it works against the antibiotic, so what happens is the antibiotic will inhibit the growth of the organism. So if you have a disc, you will have a clear zone around the disc where the growth is inhibited. So if it is resistant, you will not have any clear zone around the disc. You can see the growth. So you have to measure the diameter of clear zones and consult table to find if this is clinically useful. So antibiotic sensitivity test, it is nothing but to test the sensitivity of the bacteria against the antibiotic. So, and you have minimum inhibitory concentration assay, it is done in a test tube. So you have to have the test tube with the bacteria in it, and you have to add the solutions of antibiotic on the test tube. So if your bacteria is sensitive, you will see the test tube will be clear, and if it is resistant, you can see the growth of bacteria. That is minimum inhibitory concentration assay. Now we have, so organisms and the antimicrobial agents normally active. Antimicrobial agents normally active, that is organism is streptococci. So streptococci, penicillin, erythromycin, and vancomycin. It will, if you have streptococcal infection, if you have penicillin or erythromycin and vancomycin, it will kill the bacteria. You have enterococci, that is ampicillin and vancomycin, it is effective against enterococci. Penicillin, erythromycin is effective against anaerobic cocci. Oxacillin, clindamycin, gentamicin and vancomycin is effective against staphylococci. Haemophilus influenza, it is sensitive towards amoxiclav, tetracycline and erythromycin. E. coli and Proteus mirabilis, it is gentamicin, ciprofloxacin and co-amoxiclav. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, gentamicin, ciprofloxacin and imipenem. Bacteroides fragilis, cefoxitin, co-amoxiclav. Rickettsia and chlamydia, tetracycline, macrolides and rifampicin. Mycoplasmas, tetracycline and erythromycin. Candida albicans, nystatin, amphotericin and amphotericin B and azoles. Herpes simplex virus, cyclovir. So this is the Examples of organisms and microbial agents for which susceptibility is usually predictable. And you will see the resistant antibiotics against the organism. So examples of organism and antimicrobial agents for which resistance is usually predicted: for streptococci and enterococci, aminoglycosides, nalidixic acid, and aztreonam. Staphylococci, most penicillin, nalidixic acid, and aztreonam. E. coli, penicillin, vancomycin, and erythromycin. Klebsiella, penicillin and erythromycin. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, penicillin and cephalosporins and erythromycin. Anaerobes, aminoglycoside, and aztreonam and nalidixic acid. So this is the examples of organisms and antimicrobial agents to which resistance is usually predicted. And you have antimicrobial resistance. So how bacteria survive doses of antibiotics that would otherwise have been lethal. So how the bacteria becomes resistant to the antibiotics? What is the problem? So nothing but it is problem treated with a higher dose or newer antibiotics. Side effects: newer may not be available. Types of resistance: you have intrinsic and extrinsic. For intrinsic, bacteria may not make the protein that antibiotic targets. Extrinsic, it is due to acquired mutation in DNA or RNA. So there are two things: intrinsic and extrinsic. Now you have causes of resistance. It is nothing but the overuse or misuse of antibiotics. For example, if you have sore throat and it is a viral, so if you still antibiotics are prescribed, so you become resistant to the antibiotic. So failure to take entire course, failure to take at correct intervals, different ways for bacteria to develop drug resistance. Mutations affecting cell surface can affect the entry of drug, prevents entry of drug into the cell. So this is the causes of resistance, that is overuse or misuse of antibiotics, failure to take entire course, failure to take at correct intervals, different ways for bacteria to develop drug resistance. Mutations affecting cell surface can affect the entry of drug, prevents entry of drug into the cell. And you have ways to deal with antibiotic resistance. So what you can do is you can give higher dose, different antibiotic, more than one drug simultaneously, also resistant, restrained by physicians and control, no over the counter use. And correct use of drug: most people take drugs improperly, miss doses, allow conditions that favor the selection of drug resistant nutrients. So this is the ways to deal with the antibiotic resistance. So this is antimicrobial chemotherapy. Next class we will discuss about the tabular column separately, very important. So today we discussed about antimicrobial chemotherapy. It is the clinical application of antimicrobial agents to treat infectious diseases like influenza, cholera, and tuberculosis. And it should be based on the concept of selective toxicity. There are 4 types: antibacterial, antifungal, and antiprotozoal and antiviral chemotherapy. Mode of action: it inhibits the cell wall synthesis, protein synthesis, cell membranes altered, inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis, and inhibits the metabolic pathways. So it is divided into 2 types based on the mode of action, like its cidal killing effect, static is inhibitory effect. Based on the spectrum of action, it is divided into broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. Then you have characteristics of antibiotic. Then antibiotic sensitivity test. You have antimicrobial activity in vitro, that is disk diffusion test, and minimum inhibitory concentration assay. And you have organisms susceptible organism against the antibiotic, and we have resistant organism against the antibiotic, 2 tabular columns. And you have antimicrobial resistance, how the a bacteria becomes resistant to the antibiotic and ways to deal with the antibiotic resistance.